one of your gracious and humble hosts, Barack Crisis. To my left.
K. Corinne.
Hey y'all, it's she Chef Keish, aka Nacho Mama Punch. Damn.
That's your boy Zay Major.
That was Zay Major. Zay.
Family in the building, y'all.
What that
Damn.
do, baby? Misha.
Alright, well, y'all know I'm excited today. We're going over some dope concepts today on the show. First thing, we going over the news, this business with this Kyle Rittenhouse. We gotta get to the bottom of that. Then we're gonna go over some of our favorite segments, such as Can't Make That Shit Up with Rocco right here. We also gonna highlight Cogic Construction, Zay Major's business. He finna go crazy and really educate the people on what it means to have a construction business. And also, today's topic is the mind of the side piece. Y'all don't wanna miss this.
Side chicken dick.
Side chicks and side dicks. Totally two separate things, but one and the same for the topic. Cuz, why don't you hit us with that news?
So yeah, y'all. Hey. So today, y'all, we talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. I don't know if you guys familiar with him or not, but that is the Caucasian young male who did the shooting back when they were doing a protest for Jacob Blake in Wisconsin. It's sad to say, but he was given a bond, $2 million, and he's released on bond. $2 million bond, cash, y'all. It's not no 10% D bond. You know, I know the phrase is for him.
What are the charges? Cause that he got let out on bond after.
All right, so he has 2 murders and another person got injured from his shooting. So basically, it's 2 murders and so it's 2 murders and an attempt murder with an assault rifle. He's 17 years old. The man from the CEO of My Pillow and Ricky Schroeder, actor Ricky Schroeder, help get this guy out on bond. And it's crazy because we have so many black males incarcerated for things that they didn't do, or even murders or attempt murders with no bonds. So I just want to know, how is it possible that he got a bond? It's just it's terrible to me.
People getting no bond with an assault charge, to be honest. So this was during the Black Lives Matter protest, correct?
In Wisconsin back in August when Jacob Blake got shot. Yeah. It's crazy.
That's ridiculous. Definitely ridiculous.
So what can we do when situations like this occur? Because this is like a judicial issue. So how do we stop them from giving us no bond and giving them bond no matter what the situation?
Me personally, I feel like it's a color thing, to be honest with you. I mean, I know it's terrible to say, but if you look at it, we have so many men in different jails in different states incarcerated for minor things that they can't even get bonds on. Like, especially like down south and stuff like that. You have people incarcerated with no bonds for theft charges. So
facts. For research purposes, for retail theft, you can't get out of jail.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
Yeah, I was looking up Centolia Brown, a young girl who did all that time in the penitentiary behind killing the man that kidnapped her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
And sex trafficked her.
Yeah. How they did. Well, nobody trying to get her out of jail. Well, nobody putting up no bread for that. And he kidnapped her, sexually assaulted her,
and sex trafficked her.
Yeah.
And she saw an opportunity, did his ass,
and she did all the time.
And they locked her up. This dude goes to a protest for police brutality in Wisconsin, where a young black man was murdered by the police. He went up there with arms with the intention of doing what now?
Right.
You're defending the police? America? What? But you went there and physically shot 3 people, killed 2, injured another one.
All unarmed.
Come back to your state. And if I'm not mistaken, it was a few times in between. Yeah, it was a few times in between that. The police let him make it through, though.
Yeah, they definitely did.
They let him make it through.
A whole week before they even...
Gave him an opportunity. He didn't get no kick, though. No helicopters over his crib. No dogs out chasing him. None of that.
He turned
He physically gave them an opportunity to take his butt back to the police that turned himself in.
Yeah.
And they gave him a bond.
He tried to fight extradition. He lost that, so they was able to extradite him because he's originally from Illinois, Antioch, Illinois. So they extradited him from Illinois to Wisconsin. And not only that, he's 17 years old, so he's not able to purchase a firearm. So he had his friend purchase him a firearm.
Wow.
And the friend just like, oh yeah, I purchased him a firearm because he wasn't old enough. It's like, why did you do it? What was his intent?
And is he facing charges?
He's actually facing charges. I can't remember exactly what the charges are, but it's not murder. But he is facing charges for purchasing.
Exactly.
He is facing charges for purchasing the firearm.
For the money. The whole concept of that story was so crazy because I heard you say the owner of My Pillow?
The owner, the CEO of My Pillow, and actor Ricky Schroeder.
So Ricky Schroeder, man, that's little Ricky from Silver Spoons.
What was that?
That's crazy.
Because I believe you read a comment that said like they're ready to fight back.
Yeah.
So it's like they're fighting back against what? Black Lives Matter or fighting back against black people not wanting to be killed? Like what are you fighting back against? We're totally confused.
Because he had no reason to shoot anybody. I mean, even if a fight broke out or whatever the case may be, you don't bring a gun to
Bro, you're not law enforcement. I don't care who was fighting. What are you doing?
But I don't even think it was a fight. It was a peaceful protest, and he
wasn't peaceful.
And then, you get tweets such as, God bless all who donated to help, #fight back, raise required $2 million cash.
$2 million cash. You know what I do with $2 million but buying his ass out of jail for something he did?
Who's going to pay for his lawyer?
That cash
$2 million,
that cash line.
And it tells you what they believe are. And where they stand in this whole fight.
But you never really be knowing who the supporters are.
Yep. Now you find it out, but they put
so whoever put this out here though, he better.
That ain't their real page.
I'm saying whoever posted this right here though, tell them who did that, who just snitched them out, because I'm sure Ricky Schroeder ain't liking that.
CNN.
I'm quite sure Ricky Schroeder didn't. I know he probably spit his drink out when he heard his name on that one. And
quote unquote CNN.
And whoever that was, they got a knock at the door last night. Like, it was coming. But at the end of the day, you see behind the scenes who supports what. You can see some of our iconic figures stepping out and really drawing a line in the sand until they realize they're messing with their money, then they retract it a little bit. But your initial response is what you believe, and that's where you stand.
Known in random acts of murder.
That's crazy.
They just put up $2 million. They may not have put it all between themselves, but they spearheaded.
They helped raise that money.
Raising $2 million for a murder.
Yeah.
$2 million, so that's $100.
So
how many times?
But then they do that. They did that same thing for Silverman. For George Zimmerman, George Zimmerman. They did the same thing for him. They raised him money and gave him some money out the door.
Only for him to talk shit on Twitter. Like, anytime he get into an incident on Twitter, he like, you remember what happened to the last guy? Like, he gloated about killing Trayvon, and he ain't faced no real consequences for that.
At all.
He's selling memorabilia about the incident.
That's crazy.
That's sad.
And getting monetary money off there.
And you're not supposed to be able to profit off a crime, right? I thought that was a law.
Firm believer. Well, he was exonerated. But me personally, hence why I say what I said before, like I couldn't have been Trayvon's dad, me personally. I mean, I get it.
Because me as being a mother of a young black man, I'm going for that.
Not just going. Not just going. Dedicating the rest of my life. I'm going. I'm dedicating the rest of my life.
I got a birth one. I got some step ones. My brothers. I ain't going for that.
Listen, the world was angry that George Zimmerman got off.
I was mad. I was ready to go.
If that was my son, I'd have been
got
around this bitch doing cartwheels. They let him go. He beat the case. He on the street.
Catch him in the street.
Out here with me.
Yeah, catch his ass.
You understand that? You on the street, out here with me.
Yeah. Do you remember when, cause I saw you, I think I reposted it and then you came underneath it like as a father. It was that picture, I think either Jetta Ebony had caught that image of Michael Brown's father like crying out at his son's funeral, and it went viral. The picture of that man just tormented at his son's funeral. And cuz I believe you spoke on that at that time, like what a father has to go through during a time like this. You know what I'm saying? Because George Zimmerman is an average everyday citizen that can technically get got. But with Michael Brown and other situations, they are protected by the blue wall. Yeah, that's a different element.
True story. And that's why I said the understanding of it all, if you really own that. If you really own that, I'm on that. I don't want you locked up. I'm gonna tell you, man, our family does not.
You ain't gotta get locked up, you're gonna be locked down. 6 feet
I don't believe in that because, nah, man. I personally, I have an issue with the way all of that played out. The way that you did it, the way that you stalked him, the way that you walked him down, the way that you harassed him, the way you came up, and then you approached him.
Mm-hmm.
He beat your ass like Daddy taught him, and you upped.
And shot him, because you got your.
But it would have never happened if you would have stayed your lane, like them people, like the professionals were telling you. Hey, do not approach, do not engage, leave him alone, don't follow.
Total disregard.
He told him that. So in that in itself should have warranted prosecution.
Side note, cause
Let one cross.
Dates for the trial for Rittenhouse.
You know what?
So when is he going before the judge? I like to know. I like to follow this. But have they not given any dates yet?
They haven't given any dates for it at all.
It's all so low
It's they got a picture of him with this AR-15.
That is crazy. That is
That's
crazy.
a friend bought. But
absolutely nuts.
So they allow him to leave the state?
They allowed him to leave the state. He came home. He turned himself in.
No, I'm talking about after he bonded out, they allow him to leave the state?
I'm pretty sure because he's from Antioch and his state, it happened. But you got $2 million cash, so if you don't come back, you don't get your money back. And I'm pretty sure that's how you probably gonna pay for his lawyer too, out that bond money. Because as long as you go through your stuff, you get your bond money back.
Right. And so they probably not worried about him moving around because they ready to cover that bread.
Yeah, because they take that bread, that bond. I ain't trying to hit whatever that bond is ain't coming back. That's going towards his defense.
Yeah.
Period.
They cuffing bond now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what they're doing in Wisconsin. They cuffing it here.
Yeah.
They cuffing it here in Illinois.
It's probably the same. But
it's interesting. Like we'll be following and we'll definitely be sending updates to our followers, like as it pertains to this case. Anything we mention on the show, like we're gonna come back with an update. And then if you all hear anything, like please, like you can always comment on any of our posts or our blogs and just say like anything involving any case, like that you have information on, and we'll put that information out there on a continuous basis, just so that we can all be informed, especially regarding Black people being killed, period. Like, that's something we're extremely passionate about on the show.
And I want to mention this real quick, too. So at the bottom of this, quote-unquote, CNN, I'm ready from CNN now. It says he is also charged with not only 2 felony charges of homicide and attempted homicide, but he's also charged with possession of a dangerous weapon under the age of 18. A misdemeanor.
A misdemeanor?
Wow.
How is that a
His
misdemeanor?
bond should have been revoked.
He should never have one at all.
That's crazy.
Bond definitely should have been
I don't know
revoked.
nobody who got a bond.
Oh, he due back in court January 13th. He go back to court January 13th.
January 13th. All right. All right. Well, yeah, we'll be keeping everybody abreast.
No. Rittenhouse is December 3rd. Hey, that's my birthday, y'all.
January 3rd.
He go back to court December 3rd, and Black, which is his friend who bought the gun for him, he go back to court in January.
All right. Okay. All right, so let's move on to our next segment with Can't Make, because that was some shit you can't make
You
up.
can't make that shit up.
But the official Can't Make This Shit Up segment, cuz hit us with it.
Yeah. Damn, yeah, you can't make that shit up. In this event, this part of the podcast, I guess, is this, what you about to hear is some real I can't make this shit up because it happened to me, man. Having a whole conversation with somebody who will remain nameless. Somebody close. Yeah, we gonna remain nameless, but you won't know who you is when you watch this, yo. But, when you got people, when you're having a conversation with people about what it is that you want to go into in life, what type of business direction you want to go into and things of that nature, and you sharing that with certain people, you got to be mindful of who you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
With that being said, when you share your vision with someone and when they can't themselves process what your vision is, they tend to want to talk you out of it.
So what was the conversation? Though?
So in general, I was explaining to them about a business I did that me and another family member was talking about going into. And in this field, there aren't many black-owned businesses.
Okay.
And the person hit me with, well, are you sure you still want to go into that? Because I can't really see the profit in it because ain't no other black people doing it. So I can't really see the market of doing it.
The difference is you ain't other black people.
Yeah, well, I would have thought they would have known that by now. But under that event, it was just the mindset of because no one else is doing it, I shouldn't do it.
And we don't even know that no one else is doing it. That person just don't know
in
the
his
visual.
perspective, but he can only speak. But he
definitely
can only speak from
Right.
his perspective. True story.
Right.
But he can only speak from his perspective,
A limited
which
perspective.
should also limit your input in someone else's situation if you're not that versed in that area. If you don't have any information or any facts or anything of that nature to back it with, you shouldn't be trying to discourage. But even in the event, it was the mentality of it was another caveat to that because it is dominated by a lot of Asians and Middle Easterns.
95%.
So what you're telling me is because they have the market, they corner the market, I shouldn't enter the market because they have the market sold up. But the majority of the customers ain't Middle Eastern and Asian.
What you trying to do? Make some shrimp fried rice?
We're going to talk about what it is when we get ready to open what it is. You understand?
Right. On that show.
Yeah, that's going to be part of it. But under that pretense, I think it'll be beautiful for us to go for me and my partner to go into with it because of what we bring, like you said earlier, who we are, what we bring to it, and something that I've noticed a lack in that field of what we can bring, what's missing. We'll bring what's missing. And we'll also bring it 180 and get it primarily out of their control. And we'll start opening up different avenues for the control to come to us since the main consumer that we know, one of the main consumers is ones of our persuasion. You understand me? So with that being said, we want to go ahead and crack it open, man. We trying to get our foot in the door and get to these lanes. But it was just a mentality that I can't make that shit up. My mom told me, I don't think you should do it because ain't nobody else doing it.
And is that really shocking to you though, cuz?
Nope. It made me raise. Hey, you had them moments where I was watching the Fresh Prince reunion last night. Beautiful show, man. It was a really good show. And I almost had my thug ass crying. But it was a point on there where they were showing Will's moment. Where every time he do it, he'll hear some amazing things or something amazing happen, and he'll turn to the camera. He'll look at the camera like, hey, man, what the fuck? And when I heard that to him, I kind of turned to the camera in my living room. I ain't got no camera in my living room. It was an automatic reflex to look over like, this motherfucker just say. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just said it to me. And that's what really made me go into that moment. But it was like, aha, yeah.
And what was your reply right in that moment?
It was in that moment. It was sheer. I can't believe.
Disbelief.
Yeah, it was more disbelief. Like that's your reason for me not to do it. And then you go into other dynamics as to why you think it would fail. And I'm like, all those dynamics you came up with, I've been there. I ain't just came up with this idea sitting on the couch. Like I've done my research. I've had multiple conversations with people that's supposed to be investing in this with me. And we've covered certain avenues. We've done different type of little marketing things to get out there to see if it would pique interest in the area in which we were wanting to put it in. And it ain't just like I just jumped out of my ass with an idea like a lot of people do. Wake up, cold sweat. I'm gonna be a barber. No, that's not what happened. We didn't do that. And it was just amazing that was the perspective that you took, and it showed me at that point that everybody ain't built to be bosses.
And there's that.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me say something. Me personally, I'm a super supportive person on whatever endeavor you choose to choose. whether I feel like it's gonna flop or not, that's not my place to tell you that. My place is to support you.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's to buy an earring, a t-shirt, or just say, hey, I'm gonna be your first customer, or whatever the case may be, or just to give you the hoorahs to keep going. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally. I'm not with down at people, especially my own people, because I want to see everybody win.
I don't have a problem with you telling me you don't think I should do something. If I tell you what I'm on, I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem when you just saying it because that's how you feel, but you don't have really anything to base it on.
I get that.
That's my issue.
Right.
Don't try to tell me
that.
down and stop me from, or not stop me, you don't stop me, can't stop, won't stop. The thing about it is your perspective, somebody coming to you, then talking to you about it, they respect what your opinion will be about it. So you gotta take into
But
account. If you don't have enough information to shoot it down,
Don't say shit.
the perspective should be a tad bit different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, I don't know about that. I ain't never done. Let me check that out. I ain't never thought you could put. But my thing would be to try to pull information from the person to find out if they did their research, if they know what they talking about, and how would they do it. Like I'd be like, straight up, what make you want to go into that?
And then
You know what I'm saying? Well, how you end up coming up with that? I ain't never thought of that. You know, type thing to gain information to see where you at.
You know, a lot of people discourage shit because they don't want to see you win, or they just hate them. That shit, if you got 17 that day, get 18. Just make them number 18, because at the end of the day, you're going to do what you want to do anyway. Go ahead, brother.
What's up, man?
I definitely think when I first heard about it, that was definitely my reaction. Why the hell do you want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
But then when you start thinking about it, it's like the perfect business to go into.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started doing surveys, and the surveys has been coming back great. Definitely been getting great reviews
Porn star?
from the people we've been talking to. So it's a lane that we're gonna journey in. I definitely believe it's gonna be successful.
Porn?
So
Yeah, how you know sex sales?
I know that shit.
I definitely think it's gonna be successful. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think we.
So
I think we
what
got
is
something on
like
there.
the go-to, like when you're, because obviously like you said, because if I bring something to you, I trust you, I trust your judgment, I want to hear what you got to say.
That's why
And when you
take
hear
something.
some shit that's just totally like, hey, that's pretty much dumb, and I don't know why you doing that. How do you no longer bring ideas to that person, or how do you handle it in that moment? Because you gotta be hurt to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that?
How would you deal with that? I'm sitting there, I still haven't processed that well. How would you deal with it? Because we have different levels of spectrum when it comes to dealing with certain things.
Mm-hmm.
We're like
that's
this.
definitely true. That's definitely
And
true.
because I could bring him something, and his demeanor in dealing with it could be, I could be emotional about it. He'll be totally stoic and frank, and be totally, why would you do that?
Can
You
I
should
answer
do
this
this,
too?
woo, woo, woo. And then in the flip side, when he's emotional about something, and he come to me, I give him that same type of understanding. So that's why I say, in this one, I'm the emotional one, because he came at me.
Come in and give you a hug.
And when no, what I'm saying is this was my moment where it hit me, and instantly emotion hit, like she said.
Mm-hmm.
And when I brought it to him, you know, his response is what kind of let me,
Brought you
know,
up.
and yeah, it was like, well,
Okay.
you just can't understand what you. So I wanted to know, let them know how you responded to it when you heard.
I definitely didn't. You talk about the idea.
Or just how you feel when you bring something to somebody and they shoot it down with really no just cause.
Well, I'm the type of person stuff like that roll off my shoulder anyway. You talk to people about certain things, you can't take everything they say in consideration because they don't see what you're seeing. So you have to keep pushing forward regardless of what they say. So I talk to certain people about certain things, and I just want to get their reaction. But their reaction is not going to make my decision. My decision is already made up before I even talk.
Before you even brought it to your ass.
Mm-hmm. And it was.
right.
And it most definitely fucking was. The response what got me was because someone else ain't. Why are you? Like, who the fuck are
You
you?
wanted something more
Tell me who the
recent.
fuck are you
That I
to
can't
go
because
against
you
what
don't
somebody
say
else did because somebody else didn't do it? Because if it could be done, somebody else would have been doing it, and they'd be successful at it.
Yeah.
Likes to say, I can't be the first one to cross that line and be successful with it.
And-
And like, who the fuck? Like
That's
to
what's
me, it was
gonna
like
make
that's
that
the part that that's the part that, so I can't be the first one to cross it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I can't be the first one to see a lane, see a niche, and understand a way to make it successful outside of what someone else wasn't able to do.
Right.
And I can't say, well, how do you know I haven't looked at the system and saw that the system was broken, and I understood how to infiltrate the system and make it work for me.
I want to ask you a question too. Me personally, when I have an idea about something, I pick and choose my person I want to talk to it about. You know what I'm saying? Because you have people that have different views on everything. So if I got an idea about this, I'm gonna talk to this person about it.
Right.
And if I got an idea about this, I'm gonna go to my mama and talk to her about it. Or I can talk to my brother about this right here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like different strokes for different people. Not saying opinions don't matter in everything I do, but sometimes you just need that one person that be like, that's gonna go deeper into it than the next person.
And so
that
you
might
kind
have.
of tailoring it, like I'm bringing specific things to you based on your interest.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense to us.
To basically get the input.
Right. To get the input, and then I can get your feedback, and then your negative. I won't feel so bad about your. I ain't gonna even say negative. I'm gonna say constructive criticism. Because I ain't gonna call it negative, because I know my people not gonna be like, oh, you should do that, blah, 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 because they want me to win. They want me to win. Exactly. They want me to win. So
I was totally shocked at the concept, because if you came to me with something, if Isaiah came to me with something, if Zay come to me with something, Misha come to me with something, in the initial concept, even if I can't see it, he's know I've done this with him.
right.
Even though I can't see it, before I comment on whether I think it's gonna be successful,
I'm running with you anyway.
or I tell you, he know how it goes. He know how we do it. But with me, before I discouraged it, he came to me with an idea about 2 months ago. I didn't discourage the idea.
Right.
Even though he thought, he was like, you must not be interested. He didn't think I was interested. But no, I wanted to go look at it. So when he came to me with the idea, I was like, ooh, I don't know. I didn't discourage it. I asked him the questions as to what piqued his interest. And then what I did was, I took some time before I even commented on it or shot it down to go look at it.
Right.
And then when I went and looked at it, I brought it back to him because he was like, oh, I thought you didn't want to do it because you didn't mention nothing else about it. And I told him, no, I just went to look at it.
Right.
And when I looked at it, I came back to him like, I can see that.
That makes sense.
I could see how we could do that. Like prior to, it wasn't my lane. It was never something that I had anything about.
Right.
But that's what we do though, me and him. And then you know it. You know that's how we do it.
And if somebody even think enough of you to bring something to you, you owe it to them to, if you don't know about it, instead of being like, I can't see that, to look into it. Like, well, you know what? That's kind of out of my spectrum of something I would think to do. Like, hey, let me look into it, cuz, get back to you.
Yeah.
And then be able to come back with some resources like, hey, I thought that was far-fetched, but look what I found here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you play it. It's just off the fact that this person came to you because they ain't telling everybody this.
Right.
So you have to...
Don't shoot it down. See how you can help them win with it.
Right. And that's
Even
the point
if you think
of
it's
going.
and if you think it's unrealistic, then I feel like you owe them both sides. Like on this hand, I see how this could work.
Exactly.
This the ways I see like it might be a problem.
And that's why I went looked at it. She 100% correct. Because if I come to him, I'm not going to blow smoke up his ass, man. I'm going to tell him, yo, man, I looked at that. Bro, these are the cons. Like, I don't see how that could pop. You know another way of doing it, because this is how I came to doing it. This is how they said it, they do it. This is how they said it. And this ain't feasible.
Right.
So you got a way of going under this here, because I'm going to give him a reason. I'm going to show him that I looked it up. I'm going to show him what I found to offset, like, yo, I don't think that's a good idea, if that's how it came. You know, and that's what I think the respect of that situation deserves. But that's with anything. Like, if you aren't familiar with something or something come across your table that you're not quite into, you shouldn't talk on it.
But also it's an educational moment for the person bringing it to them. Like, oh, so you not a person that has a big enough vision for the things I want to do. Because when you want to do something, it comes with an energy. Like, hey, like, there's an energy that comes off of you and the people who you engage with. To me, it's like, note to self, like, oh, okay, you still cool. Yeah, you still cool in the ways that you cool. You know what I'm saying? I won't take this personal to that extent why I don't fuck with you. But Oh,
fuck
no,
with you on that.
I'll fuck with you on that.
But sometimes, but you always got that one person though that you every time you bring something to them, they always shoot us down, and it's like they always shoot it down, and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna just leave that person
So
alone
why
because
not?
they always negative. So it's like,
You ain't crew.
shoot
Like
nobody.
to me, under that pretense, what you just laid out there,
Mm-hmm.
hey man, you a whole op
Mm-hmm.
underneath.
Yeah.
Me and my mom. If it's under that, where everything I bring to you, you turn to everything I bring
I'm
to you,
not
got a
let you
problem
go.
with every time I bring,
I
you a
gotta let you
op
go.
on the cool.
But then you also gotta look at it as how many ideas have they ever brought to you?
Come on now, say it again.
Whoa.
If they've never brought an idea to you, then they
They
not
don't-
on that level.
They don't
Period.
pick you
It's a
nothing.
different story.
It's supposed to be an
True story.
idea exchange. You
Exchange.
feel me? Cause they ain't got idea the first. Like, what the hell? I'm telling you, what
It's
you
supposed to be you're definitely right. It's supposed to be an idea exchange, not an idea exchange.
idea is strange. And on that note, we gonna move on to ours. So today, when we're talking about the actual show topic, is the mind of the side piece. I thought this would be interesting because we live in a culture where there's not mistresses no more. Like, it's actual titles. It's all in our songs. It's all in our movies, our music. The side piece is a bigger concept than it's ever been. It's on the table in a way it's never been. You know, we all know about somebody dying in family. You go, you see kids on the obituary, you know shit about. Like, damn, like, yeah, that's kind of typical, but now it's all out there. So let's talk about it. So the conversation I was having with someone earlier was, when you are someone's side piece, man or woman, are you willing to fulfill that role because you just love them so much? You want to be in their life, so you open to it. Does it come from a place of love, or are you entertaining this because you don't really give a damn about them? Like, you don't mind seeing them with their wife walking down the street or their husband because you getting what you getting out the deal. So do you make that decision from a place of love or a place of like, I'm just getting what I can out the deal?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
It is.
It depends on what perspective you're looking at it from.
It is.
What you mean?
All right.
Go ahead.
Because the guy perspective is he may just want to hit, or he may just want something for the moment, and when that female call, he gonna be there. He definitely gonna be there. But from a female perspective, females definitely fall in love a whole lot quicker than guys. They emotionally tied to the guy.
I'm sorry.
Easier.
When you said that, I
Easier,
immediately
man.
had a moment. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Then the guy will be emotionally tied to the girl. So it just depends on how you're looking at it. Cause
Okay.
Side note, the girls. Woo. I fall in love with your tricks though. You know, this is me lying. Like, you may have a terrible personality. Touch your mouth. Right?
Touch that thing in the back of your throat.
Yeah. That'll change your whole perspective. That'll get a lot of bills paid. Just side note.
Lord,
Go
Jesus,
ahead.
is fine.
But go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
And so has anybody here, if you're willing to talk about it, have you ever played that role to somebody? And if so, how did you really feel about them?
yeah, I ain't never been in that.
I always, you know what?
Sherrod, you ever
You
been
know
somebody's side piece? And if so, why?
Side piece.
So,
Oh, go ahead. We got a story here.
Right. Let's readjust.
well,
See what happened was.
what happened was, yeah, I played that position before and was cool with it, man. Long time ago, it was a situation where she was married,
Ooh.
I wasn't, and we had created a dynamic to where we could maneuver pretty much effortlessly, you know, around being cool, considering the dynamic in which her family dynamic was. Like, he worked overnights, he was never
Oh,
at
you
the
was do
crib.
that thing.
And I was free to, you know, solicit services. So underneath that position, you know, soliciting, I want to pay shit, man.
I was gonna say.
But you know, to receive services. So with that being said, the dynamic was cool for me because I had no emotional tie.
So it was the latter.
It was, because she became emotionally attached. Understanding your dynamic is the dynamic that's like, you got a whole husband and child.
It's a
I'm cool.
It's a call you.
You know what I'm saying? And she began, Yeah. And she got extremely emotional attached. And I'm like, this ain't gonna never work because you have a whole thing going on there that's gonna blow everything up, and I'm not looking for nothing serious.
Right.
So you're gonna lose what you have, and what it is. So I took a hiatus from I gave her that moment because I told her the moment that happened, I was gonna skate. And when it happened, and she pulled her heart out, and she really was talking about jumping ship, my exact words to her was, if you don't, this is what I told her. You don't leave your man for another man. You leave your man for something he did. Because if you leave your man for another man, then you will leave me for someone else. I can't get with you on that pretense. So what's going to happen is, I'm going to take a hiatus. I'm going to let you deal with your situation, and you come back, and hopefully I'm available.
Because that ain't even true.
What you mean?
You really think if somebody leaves somebody because somebody else is a better match, then automatically...
My words to you was, that's what I told her.
Oh. Okay, my bad.
Run the tape back. That's what I told her.
That's what you told her. Okay.
At that moment is what I believed.
Okay.
As I got mature and got older, I believe all those situations due to the person in that moment. You make the decisions.
Because you can leave somebody for somebody and stay with that person. Right.
Yes, that's definitely the truth, because that same dynamic came to me on the other side. We'll get off into that when y'all get to know me better, and I want y'all to be in my business. We ain't family yet like that. We family. We ain't family like that yet. We associates.
He gonna tell us off the air.
We working on it. So I can see it from both sides, because on one end it's like, do I really just want to not be in your life? You know what I'm saying? Right. And the example I gave Cuz was like, it ain't always you meet somebody and they got somebody. Sometimes you was somebody's high school sweetheart. Y'all, they went to college, you went to the military, y'all come back together, and one of y'all unhappily married. But y'all always had a place for one another in your heart. Now, do you want to not entertain this at all? Or do you, those old feelings coming back, like, should you ignore them? So I think you can deal with somebody based on the love that you have for them and take a situation you don't really want to deal with. But on the other end, my thing is this, because we live in the social media era. Mm-hmm. I'm not about to watch you do a vow renewal ceremony with your wife, and I'm laying in the cut like, oh, he secretly loved me. Now I'm a damn fool now. You know what I'm saying? So really, as that love intensifies, that love intensifies, I don't see how you could take a back seat. Because it's in your face.
Maintain that for a long. Are there a general question?
I wonder.
Do y'all believe it's 10, 15 year side pieces?
They
happen.
I know somebody that was a side piece for 23 years, and then when he finally left, because she was with him and he wanted to get married and have children, she was like, I am divorced, I got my 2 kids, I ain't on all that. This was back in the 70s. This is an older associate of mine, so he was like, I want a kid and I want to get married, so he married somebody else. And then the process of that, she come back around like, you know what, I wish I could have done that for you. He was like, well, when my son grown, I've been back on you to love my life. You just couldn't give me what I wanted at the time. Mm-hmm. 23 years later, they was fucking around. He divorced the wife like he said he would, and she like, it's been 23 piece, your son grown, he done graduated from college, it's us now. He was like, I ain't really feeling that no more.
Damn.
Straight like that.
Yeah.
So, I feel like he did love her, because why would you like, he helped raise her kids, like the kids knew him, the family knew him. He was fully integrated as a married man. But when it was time to like show up and show out and be there for her, he didn't.
Well, he technically was that.
So she never had nobody else?
I'm sure she had boyfriends and stuff, but she got her divorce in the early 70s, waited on him all that time, and then by the time the back end came around, she was pushing 60. Like, she pretty much gave up all of that, believing that he was going to bend back on her when it was their time, and he never did.
That's fucked up.
That shit be
I don't know if that's fucked up. I mean...
But he told her that he was going to marry her when his son was grown, and he didn't.
Shit is fluid.
So listen.
Shit is fluid, bro. I can't base my life off a promise I made you 20 years ago.
But you actively dealing with
That's you.
And telling me it's the move.
That's right. You're right. And that's pretense. But if I told you that in the 70s and we ain't revisited that statement, and we've been doing us throughout the course of the YOLO, and we've been doing our thing throughout the course of this year, but we never revisited that promise.
No, that's a topic. We doing pillow talk and still talk about that shit like, yeah, baby, this ain't gonna be too much more long. You having conversations with a boy graduated from 8th grade. You playing games.
Yeah. I got a comment I want to read.
Like I feel like
y'all our brother and sister from show.
Now it's going to the violence.
Somebody trying to get hurt. I fight people, kids. Somebody gonna get hurt playing with my feelings. Like, yo. Yeah, y'all right. I hear you, man.
I got a comment I want to read. One of my friends posted yesterday on Facebook, and it's crazy because it kind of like pertains
With
to
this
this
topic,
too.
okay.
So, she says, everybody you have sex with ain't meant to be loved. Have a baby with, meet your kids, know your parents. Bitch, put your feelings in your back pocket. Which is a true statement. Because,
He's gonna go Negro spiritual on us.
let me tell you, you have these people out here that you want to sleep with. They might have some good D or some good monkey, some good tingling
In
back there.
translation, good tingling, good dick. Good pussy.
Right.
You get your overload shook.
And they got somebody else. I can't play number two. I'm gonna always be number one, and my number and me being number one.
I'm
So
sorry,
him,
you're number one for the moment. In the moment, you number one.
I'm number one. He number one, and it's like he better not have no number two either.
Well, that's the understanding. That's the understanding. If that's the,
Okay.
if that's
New
the
black word.
understanding y'all had going in, it cool. Then you
Yeah.
are well within your rights to act however you want to act when you feel like that contract.
I put that shit.
What I'm saying is people have multiple contracts with multiple people. So he might tell you you the only, and then not saying this is the actual thing. I'm just saying in general, he could be telling you that you the only and you the one, and telling the side chick she the one, you the two, and this is our contract.
Listen,
Yeah, I'm saying that's how.
But you know what? These days,
you don't understand the contract.
Listen, back in the day,
Whichever contract you sign,
Back in the
I
day-
understand the other.
back in the days, the dudes would lie, or the women would lie, talking about they ain't got nobody. But now it's like all the
That's
time.
what I mean by the contract.
You know what I'm saying? And it's
100%.
like, and that's a great thing. But if that's what you choose to do,
She said that's a great thing.
You know what I'm saying? It's like beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
It's
But-
called polygamy.
Yeah.
Being polyamorous, so that, cause to me the side bitch, side nigga thing is a side note when it comes
I
to.
thought polygamy, everybody agree with what
No. It's so. Okay, when I was living in Arizona, there's a lot of people in alternative lifestyles on the West Coast. Like, it's very common. And so you will run into them on the dating sites, like, hey, I'm poly, this is me and my chick, but it's different arrangements. So sometimes it's just like, hey, we want a girlfriend. Other times it's like, I just want a girlfriend. She got a boyfriend. You know, then other times it's like, well, this is how our setup goes. When one of us go out of town, we get to fuck whoever we want. Like,
But
it's
it's
understood.
understood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In polygamy, it's understood by all parties what's happening. In her situation,
Don't say about my situation because I got a
no,
boy.
in your
I don't
situation.
play that. My guy Muslim. Ain't no
Hold
second
on,
man.
hold on.
I'm the only one.
Wait a minute.
Oh, okay. I
In
put that out
the
there.
dynamic
In the world.
What I'm saying is, in the example you gave,
Okay.
not in your personal. I did that caveat in that disclaimer in the beginning, not to say you,
Okay.
but in your example
I
you
got
gave.
scared. I'm like, you know something I don't know?
No.
Tell me.
There's rules to this shit.
And are you saying you
But-
gonna tell
I
us?
don't
No,
know
wait
if
a minute. So
Hold
you
on,
saying you
hold
gonna tell
on.
us?
I did not say that. It's on record. Did I say at any moment I wouldn't tell nobody anything?
You said there's rules to this.
I said it's rules to
So
this.
you
That's
must
all
have
I
seen-
The
said.
rule is he gonna tell.
The rule is rules that ain't.
We just ain't gonna tell him
I
time.
can't. You come on, man. Like yo, you put me in a 6'9" position. I ain't finna be snitching. What I'm saying is, snitching snitching what the rules are.
Okay.
I can't say what the rules are. What I can say is how the rules are set up. Kind of like my bank account.
The way he cleared his
When my
throat.
bank account set up the same way. What we were saying before, man. Before the brief intermission, we gotta learn how to keep our business out the streets. Your business should never be on the other side of no doors, man. If you out there with cars sitting, man, that means all eyes on you, man. You know what I'm saying? So everything you do is public knowledge, goddamn.
Yeah.
It's public record.
If you're doing that,
You know what I'm saying? If you really trying not to be seen and not to be caught, then you gotta move as such.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? Meet me. You know what I'm talking about? This what we own. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no me getting in your car, riding around with anybody, especially in the social media area, can put you right on.
Live, record.
Ain't that my girl, man, right there, girl? Ooh.
I'm taking a picture, put them on Facebook. Girl, ain't this?
Put up next to her,
Side note, wasn't that on the Avon video back in the day? Don't don't take your love away. He was like at that restaurant with a girl, and somebody took a picture. This like early camera phones and sent it dead to his chick on the spot. By the time he got to the crib, he was getting put out. So like you said, like that's on you. If you choose to show your ass in public, you be made an ass in public.
Definitely, I agree.
You know, and to me, that's a respect factor too. Like, if you respect your mother,
right?
Even if you don't go to the levels of doing that, what you don't want is for nothing you do.
But to cuz, I want to add on to your point. Like, so the original question was, are you in this because you in love, or are you in this because you in to getting what you want? And I think it could start as one and go to the other. So let's say,
I agree with that.
Yeah, when you first entertain it, it's like, you know what, I really want to see. The curiosity will kill you. You're like, man, I want to know what this could be, where it could go. But I think that at some point you gotta detach in order to sustain and start thinking like, let me get what I can get, because I'm not gonna watch you again. We looking at social media. You having wedding anniversaries. You making your wife your woman crush Wednesday. You going hard. So a person can't be madly in love with you and see that shit on a regular basis. Now, at some point, you think so?
I think they can. But some people have different feelings.
True.
Some people have different feelings. So at the end of the day, when you seeing stuff like that, you start to feel some type of way because you feel like you and this person, even though he was somebody else, y'all got a bond. Some type of bond, because like you feel like he done promised you something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So it is still the love. Then.
So yep. So I feel like at the end of the day, don't do it.
Now, what she's saying is he said that. He said what happened was she found her comfort in the middle of some uncomfortable shit.
Yep.
And that's what she did. She found a space in which she can exist and still have what she wants, and be able to still function in that absurd as dysfunctional situation.
Because it's possible.
A lot of people have to find it. I mean, if you really want to look at it on a macro level, a lot of people have to find they comfortable in whatever small. Like, you go into the joint for the first time, you gotta find that comfortable spot in that uncomfortable situation.
Get your ass in your pants. You better not let your ass happen.
You ain't got no choice.
Right.
So that applies in all situations.
But in this instance, you do have a choice, because once you're in the jail, your ass there for however long they designated. But you could be in a jail with a person and simply be like, all right, well, I felt like this shit was cool. I'm too emotionally involved. I'm gonna fall back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to stay in that situation. You could want to find your own little book thing or whatever. If you want to be in that situation, you're going to find your comfort level. You're right. If you don't want to be in that situation, you get the fuck out of it.
And it's
crazy. But if you want to maintain it,
you'll believe what you need to
believe. You're going to believe what you need. You're going to find that spot.
Yeah.
Wherever it is, tucked away into your inner space, your get out space. To be able to exist.
And you doing that because you're in love or because something matters? That's the question.
I think you're doing it because whatever the situation is at that moment, you loving it. You like
loving
it.
Yeah, that's a whole other dynamic.
Like that's at the moment. I ain't got to be in love with you to understand that this dynamic is fun as fuck.
Right. So that goes back to the fun. Fun is fun.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, fun to be like, cause I don't owe nothing to that other motherfucker.
It's crazy because you'll have people that will they find everything they want in this person, but this person is with somebody else. So you deal with that because this is everything you want in this person, so but he belongs to somebody else.
I mean, it's layers. Like, there is no definite, it is the love, or is it the like, or is it the fun? Hell, it could be the head.
Yeah, because you got
boss
it could be the head. It could be the head to keep me in that bullshit ass spot. Because I don't want to turn that down.
The little jiggly thing in the back of your throat.
It could be, that's what I'm saying. It's no black and white. It's no black and white. It's real complex in the situation, depending on the situation. Cause a motherfucker be a real bitch, and a motherfucker be like, but shit with that head though. You know, niggas be like, she ain't shit, man, with that head though. That is shit though, but she ride that motherfucker like. And that put a motherfucker in the dynamic and be like, man, I don't really want to fuck. Cause it ain't gotta be a dynamic where it's like whatever the significant other situation is, just about that individual make you want to put up with the bullshit. Like, you'll put up with that bullshit because of the trick. So you put up with that bullshit because that person is something you've never experienced before in life, and you don't want to release it, and you want to be a part of it for however long you can under what dynamic, because that person is so beautiful to you.
But then that's
not a realistic space to be in.
You know, it's not, but it's a space that's
because we all seen Fatal Attraction. So what happens when this side person be like, I want that? But I want what you have. All of it.
Somebody did 23 years as a side piece.
Yeah.
So,
but everybody ain't gonna do that.
Right.
They gonna get, some people get aggressive, and and pull the shades back on your shit.
Yeah, but let the sun shine in. Ain't that how the commercial go?
Because
You
these
let
days
the
you
sun
can
shine
screenshot
in.
the messages you send them and send it to your wife on Facebook.
And somebody still stay with a motherfucker.
True.
After
So
they
you
done
wasting
seen
your
all the
time.
motherfucking evidence.
Yeah, they will.
Motherfuckers still gonna be like, but he loved me though.
Yeah.
So when that person pull the covers back and tell your significant other, this is like a sidebar. Are they doing that out of love?
What show was that? It was a movie. I'm thinking. The Vow?
Well, tell us what happened. Yeah, we can.
I'm gonna give you a scene. The scene was so imperative. The rest of the movie itself was amazing to me. I want to say it's The Vow. It's with got to be more careful.
I mean, this whole topic is thin line between love and hate.
No, it's white folks. White folks. But it was a statement that made that was so. It gripped me so hard. Let me just give you the picture. I'm sure whoever watches it, they're gonna tell me what movie it is. Mother and father were together. The daughter had an issue with the father because the father slept with her friend. And she found out. And she found out, it's a cold ass movie, and she found out. And she got angry. She had lost her memory. This girl was in an accident, somehow she ended up losing her memory. So she was married to a dude, and at the time when her memory starts and where it ends, she was in a whole other relationship with someone else. So when she had this accident and her memory from where it was, she didn't even remember the current husband that she had. She remembered a previous relationship. So what happened was she's trying to learn herself again. Now she knew her mama, knew her dad, knew her sister, you know. So in that dynamic, she went back to that spot. Huh?
This is a new movie.
No, it's an old ass movie. This is 2012-ish, 10-ish, 9-ish. And,
that's not like going from bad shit.
and what happened was, as she started to remember stuff, she remembered a dynamic that transpired back then. To her, it was new. To everybody else, it was like, you know what I mean? Because it had transpired. So when she comes to the realization that her dad had an affair on her mom with one of her closest friends, she was pissed. She was mad.
I just seen this.
And then it's a whole movie, bro. And so she had a whole attitude with her mom for still staying with him. After finding out what has transpired.
The pops was a powerful lawyer. He was
No. They was rich, but they white folks. I mean, most of
He was a powerful lawyer though.
I don't think he was a lawyer.
He wanted her to go to law school, but she was an artist.
True story.
She was an artist.
Same movie.
True story.
This is the same movie. I can't think of
Well,
the
the
name.
movie, because you saw it, made it new to you. This a whole ass movie, bro. You need to go back on it and look at the date.
I don't know what it's
I'm thinking
called.
it was The
I've
Vow.
seen this movie.
So what happened was, the mom, because she was at her mom, I can't believe you stayed with him after what he did to you. And the mom straightened her ass out with some of the coldest game any mother could tell a child. She told her, I chose to stay with your father, not for the one mistake he made, but for the lifetime of happiness he gave me.
So his good outweighed his bad.
His good outweighed his bad. And the way that she put it to her shook her up. She was like, okay, he made that mistake.
Yeah.
But
Here you go. Yeah, it's
it
not about.
made me extremely happy throughout my life.
So that's
So for that mistake, I'm not willing to give up my life, and I'm not willing to lose my marriage because he did that, considering everything else that he did for me.
That's
and
assuming
for
he
everything
called.
else.
That's assuming he cold though, because some people is cheating and they whack to you too. So this is assuming that
Yeah,
the
that
quality
was from the
that he
mom's
giving you,
perspective.
right? I'm
Because
just saying.
the mom,
Yeah.
it was from the mom's perspective, because the daughter couldn't understand that dynamic, because you know, as most women, most men, it could be me. Wouldn't have been
Right.
me.
So if you
I
cold
couldn't have
enough,
dealt with it.
the answer
And the
is
mama
if
gave
you
her the
cold
coldest
enough.
answer. Right. Nigga, how much oats you sowed in this relationship?
And then
Where are you standing in this relationship so that a mistake like that can be swept under the rug and we can keep it moving?
Yeah.
What if you contributed to the relationship to allow a motherfucker to overlook your faults?
Yeah.
And be able
Right. Well,
to accept that mistake, forgive you for that mistake,
Yeah.
and stay moving down the road with you. Because that statement, it shook me. Because I was like, oh, that was cold. I chose to stay with him, not for the one mistake that he made, but for the lifetime of happiness that he made.
I feel
And
like
I was like, that's cold.
I feel like some things can be forgiven. But you got something that's just not like, why this bitch gotta be pregnant?
But that's still under the dynamic of that person and that individual. Because what you would take, what you would accept, it's a lot of people out here like prime example. I'm damn near positive, knowing you like I know you, you ain't taking no ass whoopings.
No, I'm fighting.
You fight.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna be
I
on
told
the phone.
y'all in episode 1, we go.
Let me tell you, true story, but quick story. Me and this, I was dealing with a dude one time, and he came in on some more drunk stuff, and this fool come in and put his hand around my throat. I'm asleep. I wake up, I was like, hold on, what you doing? Man, that's my throat, not yours. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I'm like, you need to go ahead and because you're drunk. So the motherfucker started talking shit. I dialed Keita number and put my phone down on the floor. Another cousin. I put my phone down on the floor. She heard us fighting. She got on the bus and came down there. By the time she got there, there was blood on my walls and everything. I done whooped this nigga ass. I ain't playing that shit.
So under that pretense, it's safe to say you don't accept no ass whooping.
Nah, I ain't doing that.
So under that, it's a lot of women out here whooping.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. I would have been over that too.
Yeah, when she telling that story, and it got to that dynamic, I already knew you didn't know.
Listen.
I already knew you didn't know.
I was looking for Uncle Tim.
It was never already knew you didn't know.
Look, I was looking for Uncle Tim. He wasn't at home. So Keita came with the sledgehammer.
On the bus.
She got there. She got there.
But under that dynamic, that's why a lot of people accept a lot of things. Like it depends on the individual.
Yeah, it depends on what they open to. So the answer to the show topic was we don't know, and you gotta be cold. And our next segment, we highlight Cogic Construction, big Alright, cuz tell us what you do, how you do it, what you want people to know when they trying to contact you. Just hit us with it.
Working class daddy.
Yeah.
I know that's right.
So Cogic Construction is a construction company. We're a general contracting firm, but we also do design and development as well. So not only do we GC projects where we oversee work that other subcontractors are performing, we also design them with architects as well, and we also self-perform work. So anything from electrical, plumbing, carpentry work, closets, specialty design work as far as what she's saying, doing builds from the ground up.
They awesome, y'all. They awesome for
buildings, single family homes, doing remodels, doing smaller projects from paint to doing repairs. We kind of all in one in-house construction firm. So we kind of do some of everything.
Family owned and operated.
That's my brother, y'all. And my dad. And my dad.
And I'm not only a customer, I'm also a client. No, I'm not also family, I'm also a client. He remodeled my whole 2 unit. We gutted it. He remodeled the whole inside. Any of y'all follow me on Facebook, I posted all of them, man. He turned it to a whole different place, man. My joint was jacked up. As far as whoever was in there, their interior decorator messed that place up. And they went in there and modernized everything. They had my wood right.
Yay.
You understand me?
That's
and the man worked day and night like Mike. You understand me? Got me working day and night. He missed family reunions. Everything.
You definitely gotta get the project.
You know, so he do his thing. He's very meticulous and he takes his work very serious and very personal. And this coming from a client, like I said, because he got paid messing with me. So, you know what I'm talking about? I had a certain standard that I needed met, because yes, he's my cousin, but that was my home. It was gonna be my house. That's what me and my kids was laying out here. So it was particular to us to make it home, and he did that. And you know, grateful to that, to the ultimate. That's to the point where, and he knows he'll come over to the house now. I'm mindful that he did the work in there. And I tell you, walking up, man, we look just like you did when y'all hooked it up. I'm like, man. Yeah,
ain't
man,
nothing
you did
changed.
your job, you did. It was right on time. He walked in, you could see him too. He proud.
Cause tell us how you got started though. Like, what was the beginning? Like, if I'm a young man or a young woman out there, and I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. I want to do that. What would you tell them as far as like starting out?
Actually, my pops, he started the company maybe like 20 years ago, 1998, I believe.
My daddy.
So it was something that he started. So I was a kid at the time, just growing up, going through school, and kind of seeing what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And once I got old enough to understand what he was doing, I kind of wanted to take it to another level. So I learned the trade and the business aspect of it. So doing a lot of reading and developing myself, I was able to take it from just him doing little small repair work to actually doing major projects. So getting signed up with basically filing your LLC with the city, with the state of Illinois, and then getting your certifications, which we have a MBE certification, which a lot of companies or a lot of people do not know about. So it's Minority Business Enterprise certification. And once you get on that particular list, it actually opens you up to other opportunities to bid on major projects within the city or within the state limits. So we have that certification, so we're able to bid on major projects. So that's kind of one thing. And then there's other programs that the state and the city also have, just like Section 3, which is a CHA program that you can register for as well.
Okay.
And you could do a lot of CHA work. They slow in payment, but they do pay.
Okay, that's what's up. So what do you love about it?
I love taking something from
Nothing.
and having it look like
Something.
something immaculate. So definitely the process of something never being
spectacular.
the same. It's always something new you run into, and always something new to figure out. The people you work with on a daily basis, you always work with a good group of guys. There's always arguments.
Yeah.
But
Problem solving.
definitely fulfilling financially as well as emotionally as well. So definitely some of the things I like about
So
this.
should you apprentice under someone first to learn a trade?
So,
Because I know you taught yourself how to do electrical sitting there in my building. Like the man rewired, he watched and literally told the electrician, okay, I'm cool, I don't need you no more. And then literally rewired the whole rest of the crib. Like I sit there and watched him do that. Like he taught himself how to do electrical work.
yeah, so
Now he's be a master electrician. It's crazy.
I'm a little different breed because of the way I think about certain things. Like Cuz said, I'm definitely really meticulous about certain things. So in that situation, we had the electrician actually fell out on us, and I didn't have anybody else.
So how do the people reach you? If I understand business is booming for you, but how do people reach out to you if they got questions or they like a quote?
Yeah, so I don't do any social media. I don't have any advertising. The business itself was built primarily on word of mouth. So you can reach me on my email address, which is Cogic, Cogic Construction @gmail.com. Or you can text me or call the business phone, which is 708-400-8609. Again, that's 708-400-8609. We are in the process of getting a website created, as well as Facebook and everything else. I'm extremely too busy to even implement any of that stuff now, but
He may be looking for a personal
Yeah,
assistant,
he's
y'all.
gonna be looking for a personal assistant. Grind this grind, he gonna take off. So he can't be everywhere, so we're gonna have to make it where everywhere is there with him.
definitely. So those are some of the things I'm looking to establish, even though I don't need them, but you need them.
Nice to have. Be contemporary.
Yes.
All right. So what are y'all final thoughts for today's show? What do we want our viewers to leave here with today?
Kyle Rittenhouse needs to go back to jail.
True story.
Period.
Facts.
They need to revoke that bond because I don't think that's fair
And
at
it's
all.
not justice.
And what he did was totally unacceptable. And I don't think he should be able to walk the streets because I feel like if you out, yeah, he definitely needs to be back in jail. But go ahead, cousin.
Yeah, mine is mine was meant for me, ain't meant for everybody. You know what I'm talking about? Everything that meant for me ain't meant for everybody. Everybody need to learn to stand in their lanes when it comes to things, man.
Exactly.
The mind of a side chick is and side dick is totally beyond our rationale and understanding, but I am glad people are getting what they need these days. Low key though.
That's that new DNA shit. Not your mama bunch.
Yeah,
Not your mama bunch.
Not your mama bunch.
Hey, that's the What You On podcast. So everybody, we didn't do this in the beginning. Let's do it now. So that was this concludes the
What You On podcast.
Yeah, family out.